in learning and development account picking.
I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 8 by the local CAM service.
I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was a teenager.
I went to school at the age of 5 and they found out that I was totally profoundly deaf on one ear and the other ear only had 18% hearing.
I'm diagnosed with bipolar. It was a very long process to get there.
In this video, we've invited a number of members of staff to share with us their disability experience. So the idea of doing this is to really help everybody to think about the way that they interact with individuals, to treat people appropriately as individuals and not as their diagnosis, to create an environment which is just a lot more open to difference, whatever that difference looks like, so that people can really maximise and reach their potential. We want to provide a type of peer support group to enable people to learn how it is others have been able to get the support they need. Anything that's going to make people feel more comfortable and more able to do their job effectively.
When you have any kind of disability, you learn little techniques to help yourself get through day by day. When I came to work here 11 years ago, they asked me what I needed to be able to do my job. So I just said that I just needed to have a phone with an induction loop built in, and then I could switch my hearing aid to an induction loop setting, and then I could answer the phone. And that worked quite well until I suddenly lost that extra 2%, and then I began to struggle. I never liked regarding myself as somebody who was deaf. I felt it was a label. As far as I was concerned, I was just somebody that wore a hearing aid. So to actually admit that I needed any help with a phone call was actually quite upsetting, and I found that hard. After my operation, I came back and there was a temp working with me in the office. After about 5 weeks, I felt that I could have a go at answering the phone myself. And with each phone call, my confidence grew and I didn't need the temp there to support me on answering the phone. After about 6 months, my manager arranged for Access to Work to come in, and they did a technical survey of what my needs were.
I spent most of my 20s just painting a smile on, still managing to come to work, but really knowing that there was something up, and every now and then having to take time off work, which I would use as saying it was colds or flu, but it really wasn't. After a few years, I finally got my diagnosis, and it really supported and helped me. I was finally able to be open and honest with my colleagues as well as myself. I've found this trust to be really helpful when I've gone through crisis. Part of my role is to deliver training, but if I'm a little bit higher than normal, it's best not to let me in front of a room full of people. So my tasks can change. I struggle to get in at 9, so I start at 9:30, and that's really helpful. It's been really beneficial actually to start later. Something that I've struggled with most of my life was getting to places at 9 o'clock. So to have to not do that has been great.
It's like a wispy, isn't it? I had a couple of team leaders when I was on the wards that were extremely helpful and understanding as well. They didn't kind of prejudge, they listened to me and kind of got to know what I needed and what my ADHD was like in terms of how it was affecting me at work. And just really took time to listen and act on that. It really helps when you have a manager and staff around you that can understand and support you as well, and get the best out of you really, specifically when it comes to ADHD and other neurodiverse conditions as well.
I used to write completely backwards, so you used to be able to put a mirror to my writing and then you'd be able to read it properly. I haven't really asked for any particular adjustments because I haven't really needed them. Over the years I've developed ways of managing my condition. What I do is I tend to take longer to write things. I will get people to check things. I think the Trust has a very inclusive policy around all disabilities. From a student nurse perspective, we had somebody with dyslexia say, what support could they have and advice, and I talk through how I managed through my career, through my training, and really being focused and determined taking your time, planning ahead, you can get through most things.
As part of our desire to make the Trust more disability inclusive, we are now members of the Business Disability Forum, which enables us to have a host of support mechanisms. So there's now a 9 to 5 telephone advice line. So our managers can get more advice and more support in helping them think about how they make reasonable adjustments. There's a lot of guides and e-bulletins and training that's available. There's a hub with lots of information that we can glean from. I think we're at the early stage in trying to understand how we can make the Trust more inclusive in relation to disability particularly. We really are open to any ideas, any suggestions that people have, so I would encourage you to contact me either via email or by telephone.